Will the MonsterVerse continue after Godzilla vs. Kong? We think it should, and it actually might. In this video, we will discuss 3 different timelines that could be explored in future MonsterVerse films, including the many ways it sets itself up for the continuation of the most epic kaiju universe of all time. If you're a new viewer and would like to see more, take a split second to smash those like and subscribe buttons. If you would like to further support Koji Center, take a look at our merch or check out how you can join our kaiju order by becoming a patron of this channel. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, one of the best mobile RPG games of all time, featuring top-of-the-line mobile graphics with a ton of champions to choose from, our personal favorites being Septimus and Horden. Septimus is the go-to for damage dealing against bosses. The more HP the enemy has, the more damage he inflicts. Horden also inflicts massive amounts of damage, but not only that, his self-boosting capability increases his attack, speed, and hit rate, and then gives himself an extra turn to maul someone else. Thanks to Raid's 2-year anniversary, this game now features tons of new events and tournaments, so move quickly to get involved in the first ever clan vs. clan tournament to compete directly against other clans. Raid also just released a brand new Asian-inspired faction known as the Shadowkin, featuring an epic roster of new warriors. On top of that, new updates coming later this month will feature a new Doom Tower rotation with 2 tough new bosses. Download this game now and get rewarded with cool bonuses, which include the legendary Jotun, 100,000 silver, 50 gems, and 3 ancient shards. All this treasure will be waiting for you right here. So what are you waiting for? Your champions await. Join Raid Shadow Legends today. Now, back to discussing the possible future of the MonsterVerse. In order to understand where the MonsterVerse can be headed, we first need to fixate ourselves on where we are now in the timeline. During the events that occurred in Godzilla vs. Kong, the world witnessed an exponential increase in technological breakthroughs. Examples of new tech are crafts such as the Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicles, portals to Hollow Earth, energy signature scanners, the Oxygen Destroyer, the Argo Jet, Titan bioengineering, and, more importantly, Mecha Godzilla. This era can be considered the launch pad of this kaiju universe, featuring innumerable possibilities to continue this franchise. Additionally, we have lots of gaps that are present in the MonsterVerse timeline. We do know that there was a Titan war that occurred in the Hollow Earth, a war that happened eons before the appearance of human civilization on the Earth's surface, leaving a multi-million-year gap to fill up in this franchise. Knowing this, let's jump into the first direction the MonsterVerse could take in the future. Number 1. Godzilla BC. This is a fun title we came up with for this video, but it has been mentioned before, including by film director Michael Dougherty. This film would take place during the events of the Titan War mentioned by Eileen Andrews in Godzilla vs. Kong. Recently released artwork from the Hollow Earth suggests that both Titans and humans took part in the bloody war. This film would explore the origins of the Kong and Godzilla species, as well as explaining their ancient rivalry and discovering the origins of these locations. The first being the Kong species lair, and the second being the ruins of the advanced civilization that revered the Godzilla species, and possibly other kaiju. Another fun concept to explore would be the way of life of the Hollow Earth dwellers and the different factions that rallied behind different Titan species. An example of this was given by Michael Dougherty, who teased that the Titanus behemoth might have been a Titan that was used for war by ancient Hollow Earth civilizations, and maybe, possibly an ally to Kong. Who knows, but nothing would be more interesting to see than different Titans wage war against the Titanus Gojira species, and finally explaining why there were only a couple of Gojira species left behind. These are only a few timelines a Godzilla BC film could explore. The origins of the MonsterVerse are a massive topic to tackle, but the next timeline narrows down on a specific and more recent sequence of events. Number 2. Kong Resurgence. Another cool title inspired by the possible events after GVK. This timeline would explore the possible outcome of the introduction of humans to the Hollow Earth, and the result of this right here. Yep, this is the outrageous pit created by Godzilla that somehow connects both inner and outer worlds. Many unfortunate events could be instigated from the creation of this passageway. For example, if the wrong Titan manages to break through the rubble onto the surface, this could cause tremendous amounts of trouble for humanity and anger Godzilla. This could also happen the other way around. If one of the remaining 16 Titans seen on the surface enters the Hollow Earth and stirs up trouble, this would create an entirely new plot that brings us a brand new Hollow Earth film. The Hollow Earth was briefly introduced in Godzilla vs. Kong, featuring brand new Titans and other odd creatures. An entire world is yet to be explored down here, so it would make sense for this film to be mostly hosted in the Hollow Earth. The main character in this film will most likely be Kong. Whether Kong grows to larger proportions is unclear, but since Kong is now thriving in the Hollow Earth, the new Titan energy levels could allow it to grow even larger than before. This setting also presents the perfect opportunity for Warner Brothers and Legendary to reintroduce brand new classic monsters such as Baragon, Anguirus, Varan, or even Gorosaurus. The next MonsterVerse timeline, however, would give room to even more classic monsters and even more iconic matchups. Number 3. Godzilla Resurrection. This title is inspired from the fact that there are a lot of sleepyheads out there waiting to come out from hibernation. Note that this film should take place after the events of GVK. The hibernating Titans have a lot left in them. Fan favorites such as Rodan, Behemoth, Scylla, and Titanus Methuselah are all Titans whom the audience demands more from. In the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters, we were teased that there was an egg discovered which could hold the next Mothra. In the classic films, Mothra was portrayed as a kaiju whose memories passed on to the next generation, basically immortalizing this Titan's memories, personality, and, most importantly, battle experience. This concept of telepathic, inherited genetic memory was hinted at by Nathan Lind, who theorized that all kaiju were attracted to a source of central energy, and that its mere existence made all kaiju aware of each other's whereabouts. This explains why Godzilla has spent the last 5 years on the lookout for Ghidorah even after it was killed in 2019. In the new film we are discussing, the return of Godzilla, Mothra, and other Titans could create an infinite amount of plot lines and the introduction of new kaiju. Perhaps the most popular 1v1 adversary to Mothra was Batra. This terrifying flying monster did not only come in this form, but also as a larva. If executed, we will witness a type of battle we have never seen before. Let's not forget about the G-Man. New adversaries created from the introduction of the Oxygen Destroyer, Ghidorah's brain, and the bioengineering of Titans could introduce us to new kaiju. The first being Destroya, an extremely powerful classic kaiju whose existence was instigated by the creation of the Oxygen Destroyer. Another Titan that could return could be Mechagodzilla. How? Well, since the mech was controlled via satellite, this lets us know that Ghidorah's brain was still intact after the mech's destruction. In other words, the brain was powered off, which explains why Godzilla did not detect it immediately after the Mechagodzilla's destruction. Humanity can now create mechanized giants, or maybe bring back an even more powerful Titan to finish the job. And finally, we have the most epic kaiju amalgamation of all time, Biollante. The end credits of Godzilla King of the Monsters gave us a quick, subtle nod at this Titan. We are told that Monarch was involved in the creation of organic Titans, but what ties this together was the name of this scientist, De La Rosa, which translates to of the rose. If you know anything about Biollante, you would know that this Titan was created from Godzilla, human, and rose DNA. The technological era we were left in GVK makes the reappearance of this new kaiju all the more feasible. Do you think that any of these monsters will appear in a future MonsterVerse film? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you're still here, why not get comfortable and take a look at these awesome kaiju mini documentaries? See you there or in our next video.